welcome to Twitter Spaces with Nomad Boulevard, Cool Kids Arcade. Um, I am joined up here on stage with Agent Aaron, fellow ape, fellow nomad, fellow cool kid, fellow agent, fellow LA friend. And we're going to get to know a little bit about cool kids. Before we say hello to Aaron and we start getting into it, um, if everyone can please press the plus button, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, click on that, and maybe just type that. I'm going to do this right now. There is going to be a Nomad giveaway. We're going to talk Nomad launch party. Literally write whatever you want, but launch party and some cool kids NFT. All right, if everyone can just send that out. Let's see if we can get a few more people in here. And while we're waiting, Aaron, what is going on? How are you?
Blame it on the rain, hero.
Yeah.
No, thanks for having us on. It's a nice night in LA. Here we are.
Here we are.
You know. Um, yeah. I mean, should we talk about the state of the NFT union before we get into the specifics of cool kids? Like, what should we
It,
do here? You're the
yeah,
you're the boss.
yeah. So I think that the best way to start this is for us to pick like one current event in the NFT space, something that's
Yeah.
happened in the last like 48 hours that is NFT newsworthy. You got anything front of mind?
Well, I guess there's two things, right? There's the phishing scare that
Yeah.
happened kind of over the weekend, and then the trippy mutant ape that just got revealed today. I feel like those are two interesting stories. So which one's
So
what do you
So
think?
the fishing thing, I'm every time that I hear about someone getting their NFT stolen or someone got scammed or someone, accidentally clicked on the wrong link, there's a part of me that is like, this could happen to me. I'm scared. I'm going to lose everything. I want to, I have empathy and sympathy. And there's also a part of me that, you know, I haven't really heard of anyone that has gotten anything stolen from doing nothing or not clicking on anything. So where do you sit on, in terms of these phishing scams working?
Listen, you look at my profile pic, it's not a hexagon because I'm terrified to connect anything to my cold wallet. So, you know, I think, yeah, I mean, there's scams everywhere. I guess it's early days, it's a little wild, wild west for people out there, and scammers are super smart.
Yeah,
So, I'm kind of with you. It's like, I just try not to do anything you know, unless it's minting a new thing or connecting something with a website and being like super careful with what I'm doing. So yeah.
totally. The reason why I don't have a hexagon is same reason. I just, then I would have to move this outside of that wallet and then it wouldn't be like I don't even want to mess with it. Every time that I sign into OpenSea and I connect my wallet, after I'm done on OpenSea, I disconnect my wallet from MetaMask every single time. So I'm never just like going to OpenSea and I'm already signed in, as annoying as that is sometimes. I'm super paranoid. That's just the way it goes. So look, I think the lesson is be careful. Scammers and hackers are getting better, and it's still wild, wild west. And even though there are sites like OpenSea that are helping remedy the situation and helping people get some of the money back, and some of these scammers and fishers are even giving people money back, which I find really odd.
Weird.
Um,
Yeah, very weird.
it's super weird.
I guess
But
also I would say like, props to OpenSea for getting to the bottom of it. And then it's kind of a bummer to be in their situation because they are the central hub of what we're doing. So if anything goes wrong, everyone's like, "What's up with OpenSea? Why are they doing this?"
right,
And I kind of feel bad for them when it's something like this, which seems pretty much like out of the realm of their control. So I don't know, I try to be sympathetic when I can to them, even though
yeah.
I get frustrated like everyone else.
I
But
think that the people over there at OpenSea have done quite well. And, part of being a pioneer and building something great and making billions of dollars means that, you're going to get shit on sometimes when, people feel like your platform's connected with their loss. But I hear you. I get it. I missed the whole M3 thing. I totally forgot to log in. I was slammed all day today. Did you tune in for it? Did you watch it live?
I tuned in. Yeah, I tuned in for about an hour and a half. But like, I have other shit to do. But you know, it was cool. I mean, they had Garga up and the founder of Yuga and Bored Apes, and they were talking about what a moment it is. This is kind of a moment anyway that it's a newsworthy thing that someone's mutating their ape. That's kind of an interesting place to be in the space. So yeah, I mean they mutated it. It was a really wild looking trippy ape. So
I'm trying to look for it right now. Where do I go to find it?
I would go to the Bored Ape Yacht Club Twitter.
Board Ape Yacht Club Twitter. That's probably a good idea. Um,
But it's wild. I mean, you look at the whole collection together. They're it's going to be interesting to see what I think. There's two left, right? And so, like, what do they look like? I mean, what are there like five people in the world that know what they look like? So it's kind of interesting. Will some of them never get revealed? Who knows? Like that guy paid over $3 million for that one, which I think is an epic amount for a JPEG.
so just looking at this has to be my least favorite.
Yeah, yeah. I like the one in the yellow suit best for sure.
The one in the yellow suit. All right, I'll have to check that one out in a bit.
You just
What's
like shit on someone's like $3.5 million investment. By the way, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, look, that's the kind of that's the love I'm feeling for this M3 mutant right now. Um, so what's crazy is a year ago, Board Ape Yacht Club did not exist.
Yeah.
Like 11 months ago, Board Ape Yacht Club didn't exist. 10 months ago, I mean, literally, this is a 9-month old or a 10-month old NFT project. 10 months. And I think they're raising money at a $5 billion like valuation. It's just wild what's going on. What's up? Cheers.
Hey, what's up? How are you doing, Danny?
Doing very well.
Hey, quick question. I DM you. So Cool Kids Arcade, from your title of your space, when I click on it, it doesn't load anything. So I just want to ask you, bring this to your awareness.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good point because it's spelled our card on the announcement. So maybe we should change that.
You
Yeah.
know
Oh,
what? I honestly, I blame OpenSea. That is
Or
all
my
definitely
right,
an
blame
OpenSea
it.
issue.
That's a
or my
good one.
gird or my gird, Danny.
Do you remember that Ermagerd? All
Of
right, cool. I
course.
just updated. That's working now.
Okay, awesome. I was like, wait, am I doing this wrong? Like, what the hell is this an issue? But okay, awesome. Just so the people can go check it out and follow.
Really, really appreciate that. Feel free to hang out up here with us if you want to. Cheers.
Yes, always. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. And for those of you in the room, check out the pin tweet. We're going to jump into Cool Kids in a second, but jump up to the pin tweet. If you're not already following Nomad, please follow Nomad. Retweet this and tag some friends. And we're going to be doing a giveaway for a Nomad. So that's cool. A Nomad NFT. We're doing this to kind of celebrate the announcement of our Nomad Boulevard launch party. So launch party is Thursday, March 10th in Venice. I've been to the event space a couple of times now. It's amazing. We're going to be doing a lot of creative stuff to make this, not just your kind of normal NFT gathering. This is definitely going to be one that you're going to want to be here for. So if you're in LA and you own a Nomad, we hope you can make it. If you're not in LA and you own a Nomad, we hope you'll fly in for it. And if you are in LA or not in LA and you don't own a Nomad, we hope that you are either someone's plus one or that you buy a Nomad or you win a Nomad in the giveaway tonight and you can join us.
Do
So
we
that's
know
my
what do we know what nomad you're giving away tonight? It's crazy. You're giving one away.
We were going
What
to
are you
give
giving
away an
away?
M3. We were going to give away an M3 mutant because I don't care for them that much. Like, do what you want, flip it if you want. But you know what? I don't know. Brandon, do you know which one we're giving away?
No, we don't. It's a surprise. But also, Danny, the giveaway is going to be announced on 225 unless you want to do an additional one.
Oh, my bad.
Throwing those nomads out like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, no, this is going to be one that we give away on the 25th. Unless yeah, the 25th for now, unless things change in the next hour or so. And also before we kind of really kick off, I just want to say what's up to a bunch of people in the room. A boss, love that PFP senator. It was great to finally meet you in person in East Denver last week. That was unreal. Same thing with you, Porky. Great to meet you in person and your wife, and can't wait for you to move out to LA. Um, obviously, know most of the people in this room. So what's up, everyone? Glad you're here. For those of you who haven't already done this, if you could please click on the blue plus button on the bottom right-hand corner. Just tweet out the room, let people know what's going on. We're going to be talking Cool Kids Arcade. And now I think it's time to go over to Agent Aaron. And I think we first start off with telling the room a little bit about you and how you got into the NFT space before we get into the project.
Yeah, sure. I'm an agent, as the name goes. So I've been an artist and animation agent for probably about 15 years, and living in New York for 15 years. Now out in LA, cut my teeth at this agency called Bernstein and Drewley, and left about 3 years ago and started my own shop. And now we're about 10 to 12 people, rocking, having a lot of fun. But I'm coming into the space from the mind of how do I support artists and animation studios with their businesses. And so the last PFP project that we did, and I think I see Mitch there. What's up, Mitch? With Mitch's team, about a month ago, we did the Gemma launch with an artist, Tristan Eaton, that I've managed for since I've been an agent. And it was a super success. Had a lot of fun doing it. I got some gray hairs doing it, but I got a taste for it, and it's just so fun. And it feels like building a business, So, and I guess before that, I could say that I kind of got into the space about a year ago, just like buying and learning about NFTs and what they are, and what a minting is, and what a wallet is, and what a cold wallet is, and what's it mean to burn something, what's it mean to mutate something. I bought into the Bored Apes back in, I think, June. I got like super lucky and FOMO'd into that at 3 ETH, and that's been fun. And just kind of from there, just bought to learn and just try to support artists whenever they would ask me what to do, or brands whenever they're asking me what they should do. Just kind of being there to either support people or officially help them launch into this new wild world. So that was my rambly about me, Danny.
I wouldn't call that rambly. I would call that, one of the best recaps of your professional upbringing that I've ever heard. And
well, I'm glad you're recording it for sure. So let's go.
Yeah, we're recording it, and we make sure that people who are not here listen to it. By the way, Nomad Blvd, I was just looking now because I'm trying to, retweet the space. We have 5,999 followers, which means we're one follower shy from 6,000. I refreshed. We have 6,000. Wow, that was really
that was fast.
That was really fast.
I think you should celebrate by giving away another Nomad.
Yeah, I agree. Danny, I don't know if you remember last time I was in a space with you. I think we were close to 3,000, and we were all like tweeting, follow Nomad, we're close, and it happened, I think, at 3,000, I think. So now
I remember that.
Doubled up. Good job.
I remember that. I remember when we hit 500 and we were like, we hit 500, 500 unique people. And someone was like, well, maybe one person has 2 accounts. So I'm like, all right, 498 or 99 unique people.
That's the beauty. That's the journey here,
Totally. Totally.
Right.
So look, Agent Aaron, I would love to know more about Cool Kids. I'd love to know more than just kind of what it is. Like, who are the people behind the project? How did they get started? Why are they different from other projects? What are they doing? Why are you excited about it? Um, let's talk through it, and I might jump in with some questions.
That's dope. That's a really good segue, actually. Yeah. So, as an artist agent, as an animation agent, I work with animation studios and artists, and one of the animation studios is Arcade Studio. So they're a studio. I think they've been around for 8 years, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but they've been around a while, and clients, major Fortune 500 clients. Like, the specialty there is doing advertising, marketing, brand work, right? So super professional, focusing on, telling stories for clients in the best way possible, being super creative within the bounds that we're given. And so they saw this NFT, or they saw this NFT opportunity, like saw a reason, a way to create a series, a way to be creative, a way to work without a client, and came up with this idea for the Cool Kids Arcade. And it's kind of based around owning your individuality, and I think all of us are roughly, I may be on the older side of it, but all of us roughly kind of cut our teeth in the 90s. So the 90s version of Slacker Cool is kind of into this a little bit. But what's special about it is that they're a studio. They're not a random group of people that's hiring the art done on Fiverr. Their studio, they're professional character developers. They have a track record, and they're coming from telling stories from an animation perspective. So what happens when you create a PFP project and it's not meant to live only on PFP? It's meant to be a world, and it's meant to be an animated series. And so that's where we are. We created this. I'm just here as a business guy, but we created this whole thing to be an animated series. And I can't talk too much. I'm not going to give anything away, but some cool conversations are happening. But it raises all these interesting questions, like when you traditionally set out to make a series, you say, okay, we're making the series, and it's about X. So the lead character should wear green, and they should have black hair, and they should have a cute raccoon sidekick. And then let's design that. No, let's make the eyes bigger. Let's make this. No, let's give it a hat. And you get really in, and a few people design those characters and then tell that story. Well, what happens when the character development is done with a generator? Like, we're basically going to hit the generator. It's going to design all these characters. The community in Discord are going to basically take it over a little bit from us and decide, which characters they vibe with the best. So we may end up with a lead character in an initial crew that we would have never thought of, which is wild, and it's kind of scary, but it's just something. It's a way that's never been done. And then as we kind of roll through this thing, figuring out how to bring in writers' rooms. Say you have a couple of cool kids, and one of them just speaks to you, and you're like, man, that guy, he's like, I know that guy from high school. Like, he would do. He's this guy that would do this funny thing, and like, come up with your own backstory for your own cool kid and submit that to the writers' room, and maybe that gets selected, and maybe there's rewards that gets put back into it. So we're in a kind of a weird, exciting time for it. It's Wild West / scary / super exciting. I'll pause there.
Slash super exciting and petrifying.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm sure there's so many, like, I don't know, you saw that Hello Sunshine's optioning World of Women because Reese Witherspoon. I think the Deadfellows are doing some stuff. It's all great. It's all amazing, rising tides. But none of those projects were built from the ground up to be an animated series. I mean, you know, fingers crossed everything happens and it goes as planned. But what happens when you build it with intention? I think we're in kind of a interesting place, you know, and I'm super excited to bring it to market and see what happens.
So, can you tell us the all of the storylines and treatments and exactly how the animation series is going to come to life?
Yeah,
And I
sure.
obviously know you
Buckle
can.
up. I can't say any of that, but we are having conversations with production companies, and it's exciting and real. I have a reputation to uphold, so I can't bullshit. But we are talking to some cool people, man, and it's wild to even because I think there's a door that opens now that we're in this and we're building it this new way. Whereas I think if we pitched the same thing without the NFT mechanic, I think it might be harder to get into the meeting, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
all I would say, all of you here now, and everyone here, I'm guessing, is all up on NFTs and is excited about it. I would say, don't be afraid to make that call. And if that's a traditional streamer, production company, brand, make the call. You never know who's going to pick up and be excited to hear from you and may have just wanted to learn about what an NFT is and how they could use it.
And, make the call, or also, leverage people that know how to pick up the phone and get someone on the call, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
true.
I know that's second nature to you at this point, but I assume one of the reasons why, you're such a good fit with cool kids who are looking to bring this animation series to life is because that's your professional background. You're able to, make the calls and get people connected and interested in a different way. So, I'm wondering if there's going to be more of a movement of managers and agents in the space.
I think so. I mean, I guess you see that UTA is coming in a big way. They went early, right? Props to them. They saw it from the beginning, but no one's really tackled the the live action series, like making movies. Like we're not there yet, So it'll be really interesting to see where that goes.
100%. So we brought up Saint, who's on stage. Saint, how are you?
Hey everyone, I'm fired up. I am so excited. You're like picking up the phone. That's me. I'm picking up the phone. I'm just like I'm fired. I'm so excited. So happy. I like scheduled to come in the room and I saw it the other day and I had no idea what I was in for, but yo, I am a cool kid. I am here. Everyone here is a cool kid. We're cool kids.
What's
And
up,
it's
cool
so
kid?
funny. What up? Yeah. And I just want to add value and excitement because I've been involved in the space since 2018 and I'm hashtagging like NFTVO because I do voiceovers. I'm with Vox, and they're like top 5 voiceover agency in the world. So I just got done doing a video game audition. I do auditions every day for Hollywood and I can be anywhere in the world. It's so cool. So to hear what you just said about the animation series from the ground up, I love it. And I've been like scoping it out for a while and I talked to Wes Stevens, who's the president of Vox. They've had it for like 2 decades. They just had their 20th year anniversary recently and I've been wanting to itch out to him for a while and I've been so hesitant because of all the animations and stuff happening and then I just couldn't wait anymore. I'm like, yo, Wes, what up? And I'm like, you gotta like onboard over here. And then he's like, yeah, I actually had two, and I saw he was like researching about it on social media, but I saw he's like, yeah, that's funny you mentioned it because I just had 2 meetings on it today. And so I sent him some information, but I would love to introduce you to Wes because yo, they have everyone. Like Billie Eilish is with my agency. They have a bunch of cool people. So you're gonna need these voiceover actors who actually can act. So maybe that could be a good partnership. I know you have to take meetings with the writers' room and the animators and stuff, but when I'm a bridge builder, so I can. I mean, you probably have people you can talk to, but I mean, Vox is amazing. So I would definitely love to curate for you to connect with them and the talent over there. I mean, I'm loyal because I've been there forever. So,
That's
but they're
amazing.
really, really good people.
No, that's amazing. No, I just looked them up. I think we've used them before on a commercial way back when. So, and
Really?
you've got an amazing
For
voice.
what
I can already
commercial?
see like a character coming out from your voice. So it's really awesome. I don't
Oh,
remember. I have dad brain. I can't remember what commercial it was, but
oh, okay.
they're definitely a big. Vox is a huge player in the VO
Yeah,
space.
they're amazing, and it's so cool. Like, Wes is really cool into like chakras and stuff. So when they just gave up their office on Wilshire because of what happened in the world, but you don't need it anymore. But
Yeah.
when you walk in there, it's an amazing view of Hollywood on Wilshire, and everything's orange, like the color of like the sacral chakra of abundance. So it's like he's so tapped in with energy and stuff. So they're really good. And then my branded name in voiceovers, because I kind of sound like a talking, walking cartoon character, is Cartoon Katie. That's like what I branded, because you have to brand in the VO world.
Wait, can you talk about that a little bit? Like, why do you have to
Sure.
brand and is it almost like a Twitter handle, a pseudonym, etc.?
So this is the vibe, because like I do a lot, so I don't have it as my Twitter handle. But however, people in the community know me as Cartoon Katie, because they're like, "Oh, your voice is so animated," and I am who I am, right? But so it's like this. So Bill Holmes, who's a legend, like if you want to work in VO, I VO coach people all day, but if you want to work in VO, you go to Bill Holmes. He's like if you need to go to a doctor for like or for a chiropractor, you go to a chiropractor. If you need your teeth cleaned, you go to a dentist. If you want to know if you can work or like where you would work in VO, because there's so many different areas like video games, narration, promo, e-learning, like it's all over the place. So but by having a conference call or a Zoom with Bill Holmes, he can say, "Oh, this is trending, this is popular, like, oh, this isn't happening anymore." And he can hear by your voice of like where you would do very well, like an announcer or what have you. And so he goes by the VO doctor. So like if you want to work in voiceover, you go to Bill Holmes. He's like the VO doctor, right? And then so he's the one that taught me about branding. So a lot of people in the VO game, it's a very small community. It seems overwhelming and it exploded because of what happened in the world. Like all the theater people pivoted into VO, and like everyone thinks they can be a voiceover actor, but they don't understand like the craft of acting, and like having that is super important. But yeah, like having the brand of, it was a while for me to find my brand, because and it's kind of like gifted to me. But yeah, it's really important to, and then you do an animation, right? So I had a couple people, more than a couple people, but they don't get the vibe of Cartoon Katie. So I don't really have an animation of Cartoon Katie yet, but because I have it in my mind. It's more like anime, like Japanese kind of, really like full and fluffy and like cute, but no one's been able to do it yet. But yeah, it's important. It's kind of like your logo.
That's
But
super. I never thought of. I mean, it makes so much sense. Cartoon Katie though, that's got a ring, got the
oh yeah, but
alliteration. I mean,
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, but it's not right now because I'm doing something for a week. But yo, my logo. Oh, I had to tell you something really cool. My logo is Sabet's Tokyo Punks. That's my new logo. I made a whole merch line. Listen to this. So my agent, real quick, said, "Yo, do you know any people, females, and like NFTs?" And yo, Katie's the crypto queen. Yo, this big time manager in Hollywood had me speak to a bunch of actors last week on Saturday to onboard actors into Web3. And they're like, "Send over your photo." And I like send over a photo, and they're like, "Send over your logo." And I sent over my Tokyo Punks. So that's my new logo in Hollywood, dude. I was gonna just do the whole Tokyo Punk and not do my face at all. And then I was gonna have my assistant do like half and half, like half me and then half my punk. But they needed it like quick. So, but that's what I'm doing for moving forward when I talk to these Hollywood people about onboarding into Web3.
Send them a Tokyo Punk yourself to your Hollywood people.
Do what?
Send them the Tokyo Punk yourself. We did a contest.
I did it. I was in it.
There you go. You should send them that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea. I did a derivative too.
Yeah.
I like yours. Yours is very cute.
I saw your derivative. You did an amazing job. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate being here. I'm so grateful. I'm a part of the Nomad Boulevard community. So it's just it's a cool vibe, and I'm here to add a lot of value. And I just want to be here for everyone, and just I have this energy and this voice to be like blah in the most positive way possible, so we can hold hands and do it together. So I'm here and I'm here just listening and adding value to the excitement because
Love
I'm
that.
so excited.
That was mega value, Cartoon Katie.
Yeah.
Mega value. And high five from a fellow nomad. I would love to connect with you, in the Twitter DM or something, just to, I don't know, for coffee or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I already sent Wes and Tom Lawless, the president of Vox, your Twitter page, and then they told them to look in the bio of the cool kids and the website too, so they could
Sweet.
research and just get to know you guys some more. But
Amazing.
yeah, where are you? Are you in LA?
Yeah, I'm in LA. Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'll be there soon. I'm in New York right now, but I'll be there and we can meet up for coffee and stuff.
Love it. Stay warm out there.
Oh, I am. Yeah, I definitely am. It was like, I don't know, warm today. It was pretty warm. Yeah, I hope I can attend the launch. It was going to be on the 3rd, right? And then it got pushed a little, which is good. So I hope
Well, we wanted
I
to
can
give
meet
you a little
everyone
bit more
there.
time. We just wanted to give you more time to, get your travel in order. So hopefully that means you can make it.
Yeah, I hope to see everyone then. Definitely.
Cool. And actually, speaking of events in LA, Misha, who I see in the audience, we were supposed to meet up in LA about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I think it was some LA Art Week or something, and Misha totally, we just did not make that happen. I'm actually going to bring you up real quick to say hello. If anyone wants to come up and talk Cool Kids or Nomad Boulevard, ask any questions, please feel free to request to come up and hang out with us.
Well, hey, hello. How are you guys doing tonight? What's
Misha,
up?
we missed each other in LA.
It happens. I mean, it was a busy week. I've been doing my art stuff and meeting friends left and right. So next time, I'm trying to go to NFT LA in March.
So I will definitely be there. Had a conversation before this Twitter Spaces about how we're going to have a presence there, how we're going to bring Nomad Boulevard to NFT LA. So hopefully we'll have some stuff to shout about soon. Misha, you're in New York, right?
I am indeed in New York right now. I heard your previous speaker, Cartoon Kitty, was there too right now.
Yes.
I see she's rocking the Enchanted NFT PFP right now. The project I'm kind of like not involved with, but I'm like admiring right now. They also did like little contests, so I did a little what do you call it? Fan art.
Artifact?
No, like when we do like a fan art contest. Do you know?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to jump in. I was looking to mint last night. I like um yeah, I'm gonna there's like 500 artifacts or something. I'm just gonna jump in and get one or two or something. I'm definitely gonna do that.
Yeah, they did like a derivative contest. Like they offered like essentially PNGs of the old avatars, and like you could design your own elf, essentially a fae. It was kind of fun like contest to participate. So I did that. But yeah, I'm in New York. I would love to go to LA because yeah, you said it was warm today, but it's kind of rainy, so a little moody. I was in my mood.
Yeah, but you know what? I've had like September real quick, uh September 2020 was the last time I was here. My condo like it's just been ever since the world blew up. And so when I came back here, like I haven't worn my rain boots in over 2 years. So I was so excited just to wear my rain boots. Yo, I went down the street to Italy. I wasn't far, it was a couple of blocks. So but I was just so happy. I wasn't in the rain, but I took a lift, but when I left, there was no rain. So I was just so happy wearing the rain boots.
That's funny. I mean, it's abnormally warm for February, but I got to say, I love your voice. It's very suits your, I guess, your persona from the PFP you're rocking right now, like a little elf, fae, a fairy, kind of cool.
Well, yeah, I love her. Well, they're speaking of the derivative, they have that contest. Like there's four, they're like making your PFP for a week. So I'm like, yo, for sure. I found out about it from Sketch Poetic. So I'm like, yeah, and then I'm in the giveaway. I like yeah, I'm a sales girl. I like buy one get one free. I'm all in. Like I'm I'm like, give it. I love it.
So Misha, Saint. I mean, should I call you Saint?
Yeah, that's cool. Just to let you know, so real quick. Saint Kiriaki is my name, and so it's wild because like I was born with two names, Katie and Kiriaki. So my yaya, my family's from Greece. My dad's side of the family, my yaya came over from Greece, and I'm named after her. Kiriaki is a saint. She was a martyr, and also it means Sunday in Greek. So Dani nasime Kiriaki today. So today's not Kiriaki. But so Saint Kiriaki, and then for acting, I go by Katie because my mom didn't want people in America making fun of me, blah blah blah. And then Hollywood in 2005, they're like, "Yo, Kiriaki, like Jennifer Aniston, Wood, not Aniston or whatever, and like Woody Allen, Johnny Depp." So they try to like chop my last name too, Katie Chinogs. I'm like, yo, I don't. That's where we're cutting the line. I don't think so. So I just go by Katie for acting, and then like everything else, I go by Kiriaki.
All right.
So
Well, I'm gonna call
Saint's
you,
cool.
unless you want me or anyone in the room to call you something else. I'm gonna call you Saint Kiriaki.
Yeah.
Um, and Efkaristo Parakalo. Um, and glad you're up here. And Misha, I don't know how far away you are from Kiriaki in New York, but you guys should do like a little NFT meetup.
Yeah. Where are you, Misha?
I live in Brooklyn, so I mean it's New York. You can travel. It's not California. You take a subway, you'll be anywhere in 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Well,
hang out.
yeah. Send me your work and stuff. Let's just meet up to say what up. But I want to. I'm a visual and I'm a producer and I'm a go getter. So like we could even create something while I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Let's just make it.
Why don't the two of you host a Twitter Spaces live together in New York? Let's do a Nomad Boulevard room together in New York.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm down.
I want to
I
hear
have
that.
I'm down too.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's DM each other then after, so we're not gonna like bore people with our plans. Awesome. Thank you for connecting.
Nomad Boulevard with Misha and Kiriaki live in New York. I mean, I'm in. I
Yeah.
seriously would love. I think that the two of you co-hosting a Twitter Spaces, like we would love that. I was talking with the Nomad Boulevard team last week, and we were like, look, I do a couple of rooms. Punk and Joso do a room. We're doing a room with Wes Henry. And we're trying to have kind of some regular programming. So like every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday night, I know tonight's Tuesday, but every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night at around 7:30, 8 p.m. PST, we want to have kind of our regular programming. So every other week on Mondays, we want to do Alpha Mondays. Every other Monday, we want to do artist interviews with Isabelle. Wednesday is going to be Wednesdays with Wes because, Wes has a lot to say.
Love Wes.
Punk, you love Wes,
I
and
met him at
Punk
Art
and
Basel.
Joso. The two of them are, they've been leading, Twitter Spaces for Nomad since the beginning of Nomad. So, just carrying on with our very kind of, Punk is our kind of resident artist Twitter Spaces host, who is, just an incredible artist, and Joso is like one of the most kind of deeply ingrained NFT heads and degens in the space that I know. And the two of them just, are great. And one of the things we were talking about was, wouldn't it be cool if someone or certain people from the Nomad Boulevard community raised their hand and said, we want to host a space, by the community for the community, you know, let's do it. And I was talking to Looks Legit about it, and I mentioned it to a couple of other people. I'm just putting it out there. Misha and Kiriaki, if you guys want to do something, always love having you up on stage. You have a lot to say, great energy. You're nomads. Think about it.
I have something to say. I've already thought about it. I have something to add value and manifest and add this bigger on the 22222. If you're down, want to hear it?
100.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So this is it. Why don't we do everything you just said, and we can record it in the Twitter Spaces, and we can download it. And I have a popular podcast called She's All Over the Place. It's in the top 5% of all podcasts, and out of the top 60 arts podcasts, I'm ranked number 48. And my podcast is an NFT podcast, empowering all genders through divine femininity. So we can interview Punk, we can interview all the ladies, and we can record the spaces. And then on my podcast, I can introduce special segments where whenever we have a room, I'm like, yo, this is a special segment. And we can just, um, you know, put the episode on my podcast and it goes out to 31 different platforms internationally across the world.
Let's fucking go.
Cool. Done.
Yeah, that's
Let's
fucking
do it.
fire.
And anyone who wants to talk about anything with the Nomad Boulevard community and cool kids and everything, we can just integrate it all. Like there can be segments, like you mention this, drop this, talk about this, and we can just make it happen. I already got it going on.
So Katie Aki, I want to shout out a couple of women in the space right now who, if you don't already know or follow, could be great people to join you in some of these first segments. But Anastasia Kim, an incredible artist. In the room, Mirav, who is an incredible leader in the space behind Bank. We've got, I guess if I'm not naming you right now, request to come up here and say hello. But Isabelle herself, I'm sure would love to be a part of it. And obviously NFT Cheers is up here. So I think it's a great idea.
I mean, Tori Bryant, who we talked to on Sunday, I could probably download you that episode, and that was like a really cool episode. Tori's such a leader in the space.
Yeah.
I mean, she won Oscars. She's an amazing artist. She's been featured in like some pretty high-profile international galleries. She's like, just I don't know, probably one of the strongest minds I know in the space, and that would be a really good kind of segment because she's just a powerful speaker as well.
I listened to the whole segment. I thought she was incredible. The only thing about winning an Oscar is that like no one ever knows if like you just got lucky. Like I feel like you need 2 Oscars for it to really mean something, just because like no one wins 2.
I think she has 3. So
well, you know what? Well, then I'm into
yeah,
it.
like I think she's like a legit champ. And one of the coolest things I find about her is like watching her navigate the space. Like coming in, I thought she was just like an epic painter, and she doesn't talk about her Oscars at all. It's something you kind of have to pry out of her. But the way she organizes her teams and her projects, you can tell that she's been on some really high level productions, and she has just such a creative and intelligent mind. And it's like, for me, like I'm super creative and I try to be organized, but like for her, like the project she's doing now, like I think she's building something that's gonna be fucking incredible. So it was really interesting to talk to her.
Yeah, it was I mean, it was one of those spaces where, she could have just kept talking. You did a great job interviewing her, of course. And yeah, she's brilliant. Just super down to earth too.
Okay, so this is what we'll do. You send me the file, and March 1st starts Women Empowerment Month. I'll do a little blab in the beginning, and I'll be like, yo, this is my Nomad Boulevard crew, and this was an epic conversation. Obviously, I'll listen to it first. I'll give brushstrokes of my heart, and then I'll be like, here it is. And boom, I'll just like drop it. Cool?
Hell yeah.
Yay.
I am so cool with that, but I'm going to just DM her and ask her if that's cool with her too.
Yeah, 1,000.
And Katie Aki, if you and Misha meet up in New York, and you want to, host a Twitter Spaces, Brandy and Brandon, our team, the team at Nomad, we can help with the marketing. We can get some people in the mix, and maybe it's the beginning of kind of a new segment. We've always like dreamed of growing the Boulevard, and having more people kind of lean than just the people on the team. So I'm just putting it out there. That seed is planted.
Okay, so I have a couple ideas as a producer. So one, do we not only want it to be audio, but do we want like a live video going on YouTube or Instagram or something like that? So we have video content as well.
Like, Gary Vee says, you can produce like 7 pieces of content from one piece. Great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we can do that. And then also, go ahead, NFT Hunt. What NFT Cheers?
Oh, no, I was saying, yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, awesome. And then let's think, like, do we want it in the Empire State Building, like something daytime, evening with the view? Like, let me know so I can curate like an amazing space for us. Like, are we inviting people? Is it just us? Like, what time of day?
I like this brainstorming, honestly. Like, this is amazing.
The more the better. More fun, right? What do you think, Danny?
Yep.
Like Central Park,
the more the better.
Like outside.
So
like
do this.
Park,
whoever
so
is in the spaces
nowadays.
right now, if there's someone who is interested in getting involved in this, request to come up here. We'll pull you up. I want to just take a beat right now. Misha, NFT Cheers, keep marinating on this. We open up a Google Doc and start jotting down notes. But I want to reset the room real quick and let everyone know, you know, a little bit about what we came here tonight to talk about. I want to say hello to a couple of new people we on stage, and then I want to pick this back up in a few minutes. Let it marinate. Let's keep thinking about it. I think we have here. But first, I just want to remind the room of Cool Kids Arcade. So they haven't launched yet. Because we are supporting Cool Kids, we are going to be offering sales spots. We're not using the term whitelist anymore. Spots, clear list. You know, where I don't think an official new name for WL has come out yet, but we've got pre-sale spots. Agent Aaron, do you want to talk a little bit about how that's going to work? How people can make sure they get them?
Yeah. Danny, I don't even know if we've figured that out yet, how we're dropping that on the Nomad Blvd Discord. But yeah,
so you know
if you're part of the Nomad Blvd Discord.
So I actually know.
Yeah, go.
That was a test. Okay, you got a C-.
You should talk rather than let me talk about something that I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I just had one of those moments where I forgot, but I remembered. So if you go in the Nomad Discord, and you scroll down to pre-sale access, we have a few different channels. One of the channels is called Project Drops, another called Artist Drops, and another one is called DIY, Do Your Own Research. So I'm going to go out. It's already in there. We've posted it. Cool Kids by Arcade. It talks about who's behind the project. It gives links to their website and their Discord. It looks like there are going to be 5,000 in the first generation, and holders of Generation 1 will get a free mint of Generation 2. The launch date is February 28th, so we're talking 6 days, so in less than a week. So there's information here, and I don't know if this is right, Aaron. I think we got to fix something. It says total whitelist spots 5,000. Is that right? Did we get 5,000 of the 5,000 spots?
We just want everyone to be a nomad.
Right. So
I think you added a couple zeros on there.
I think we added a couple of zeros.
We'll have to fix that after.
All right. So go into our Discord, check it out.
You made me realize something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You made me realize something we haven't talked about yet. And so the other part of this is like we're all kind of fans as we build this thing out. I mean, I'm sure the community is going to have a lot of input in this, and said production company. But as we build this thing out, we're an NFT born series, right? And project and company. Like we want to celebrate the space, and so. For instance, we're partnering with you guys right now. We're partnering with Nomad, right? We're also partnering with Gutter Cats and Pixel Vault and FOMO Mofos. There's some really cool projects that are kind of pushing it out. I mean, and that's kind of how you do it in the space. Every community kind of supports each other. The visitors also. So all the ones that are supporting and we're all like hanging out together. Like, why not bring them in on the storyline? You know what I mean? Why not have an episode where a visitors comes through and that kind of affects the story of what's going on in an episode. And what does that even mean? Like, what does it mean when another community comes into a series and like a traditional streaming? Like, what does that do for the holders of each, or the owners, and how does that affect the ecosystem of the NFTs? So like all these things are going to be really weird and fun to figure out. But I did want to say that since we're all like mega fans of everything NFTs, and I'm myself am a super nerd, I'm going to do everything I can to kind of bring it all in together and to just basically have this celebratory party around NFTs with the series. So I kind of didn't touch on that earlier, but I wanted to make a point for that because I think that's a really interesting thing too. Like the guest spots, the irreverent, like, poking fun and celebrating what we're doing here, because it's amazing and it's ridiculous all at the same time. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, agreed. Brian, you have your hand up?
I sure do. And first of all, I just want to say hello to everybody that's been listening, because y'all get me all hyped listening to all the talks of plans. And just being fairly new to this space, it's really exciting to see projects very, very focused and also very open to different ideas, different collaborations. That being said, I'm curious to know. I took a look at the web page, the team, and there's also been some news in the space recently about some big projects that have obviously been unfortunately like rug pulled, with teams escaping with hundreds, sometimes in cases millions of dollars. I was wondering if by any chance you knew if there was any sort of development of an official white paper that's coming out, as well as a doxing of the team that's behind the Cool Kids project.
Oh yeah, we're yeah. You might have missed the earlier part. But that's the one thing about the project is we're all fully doxed. You can find me on my Twitter handle, and Arcade Studio is behind the Cool Kids, and Arcade's been an animation studio for 8 years, and so they're you kind of get their reputation with it. Do you know what I mean? They're banking on all the work that they've done for clients and brands and agencies in the space doing all that like commercials, and now they get to kind of do it. They get to create it themselves, and what happens there. So yeah, you're right, man. The the anonymous rug pulls, the discords that have been live for 3 weeks and have 500,000 members. Like it gets kind of weird, because we've been building this thing, but it's not easy to build something from zero, and it's interesting out there. You bring up a really interesting point. Like it's going to be it's going to be good, I think, whenever things level out a little bit and people can't come in and siphon money out of the space that we love. It's always a heartbreaker. I don't know if I answered that question, but yeah, it's good. They're doxed, man.
Yeah, you absolutely did. Forgive me if it was something that was maybe repeated over the beginning. I tried to jump in a few minutes after, but on the second part to that, is there any a timeline, because I know we're about to mint in, I think, less than a week at this point, which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And we're about to mint in a week, but is there any development of maybe a more specific white paper or roadmap in the works?
So yeah, there's a roadmap on the Discord, and that'll kind of get you there. I think as we come up with announcements, and as we get past the mint date, there'll be a little more changes to the roadmap as to allow for the writers' room and development of the property. We're not going to do a white paper. I don't know. I don't know why we would. I guess it's not really my world. I'm not really like a tech coin guy. I'm more of like a brand guy. Trying to build properties, but I guess it'd be interesting to hear from you. Hit me up on the side if there's anything we're kind of missing with communicating what we're trying to do. I would love to hear that. If a white paper would explain anything that we're missing. I guess we're just trying to like explain it with announcements and the roadmap. But yeah, Brian, I mean, no worries on repeating. I think what you said is super important because it's very top of mind for everyone. What's the next rug pull? So thanks for bringing it back up.
Absolutely. I want to thank you guys. And yeah, look forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming up and appreciate the question. Even if you know who is behind the project, even if there has been a white paper written and, you're able to measure step by step that people are doing what they say they're going to do, something that I don't think anyone has the capacity to predict and measure is how fast, for lack of a better phrase, this space is evolving. Kind of my experience in this space 6 months ago was literally nothing like it is now. except like people say Bored Ape Yacht Club a lot. It's completely different. And, just having, co-founded Nomad Boulevard, and, I've been on this journey now for 7 months with our team and our community. I will be honest and say that our vision has evolved on a weekly basis, since the beginning, because, I mentioned this, I think, in a space or two ago. When we first started working on Nomad Boulevard, I remember everyone talking about how it's not just about doing a PFP project. It's not just about art as the utility. We really want to make sure that it's a strong team that can execute well, that says they're going to do, that does what they say they're going to do. And, that's what people were looking for. And if you go back on Twitter and you look at comments back in, the beginning of the summer, it was like, I'm not just, buying any PFP. Like, I want to know like the team behind it. And that was it, like maybe there would be some merch, and that was it, because the supply and demand was just different then. And then as we got further down the road building Nomad out, and I'm sure other people in the room who have, worked on projects and attest to this, Marav, I know, you know what I'm talking about, Aaron. Then all of a sudden it was like, all right, well, what is the utility? If I have this NFT, what do I then do with it aside from just hoping that, there's crazy transaction volume in the secondary and the value goes up and I might be able to flip it? Like, what does this do for me? And people started thinking about NFTs, instead of that, just the fact that it's a piece of art that's authentic on the blockchain, people started to think about NFTs as like, it's access to something. It gives you something. It's a membership. And we made shifts then, and then heading into NFT NYC, no one was buying fine art. All of the artists that were having a wild summer weren't selling. A lot of PFP projects weren't selling, and we went into we went to the conference, and there was a lot of conversation around DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations. And we were like, all right, really? We're going to be one of those projects that says we're building a DAO? Like, come on, I don't want to do that. But we really started to dig into it and meet with a lot of people and find out what it was all about: voting mechanics, bounty systems, fractionalization of assets or shared ownership. And all of a sudden, that was like the first time that I stopped wearing a Web 2 hat in the Web 3 space and started to kind of think Web 3 and what the power is in being a community-led organization and sharing and decision making and ownership. Not fully and completely. I mean, there's a balance to it depending on the stage of the project and company. But all of a sudden, that was a shift. And now here we are 7 months later from the beginning, and we're putting on a major event. 150 plus people have RSVP'd in 24 hours. We're expecting another 150 to 200 people to RSVP in the next few days, and hiring a DJ and doing art installations. And I had no idea I was going to get into it. So had I written a white paper 6 months ago talking about our roadmap and what we were going to do, who we are, what our objective was, it would be completely out of date. And so I wonder if there's a better term for a white paper that's ever evolving, with a million amendments. Look, and also I know that there are a lot of different types of learners. Some people like to learn by talking to someone on the phone or looking at FAQs. Some people like to chat. Some people like to read documents. I think a white paper is just another way that people can learn and feel connected. Just like we're talking on Twitter Spaces, or people create video content or social media posts. Punk. What did I miss? Or
I don't think you missed anything. I just kind of want to touch on something. I think we're kind of coming into the space now where there's different types of NFTs. So you have fine artists that are like utilizing these smart contracts and like making like a living off of it. It's amazing. But then we also have like the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is a PFP profile like investment that you can do and turn over and make into a bunch of money. And like I feel like a lot of like the investors in the NFT space are actually like crypto users. They're looking for the next like altcoin. And like I think there's a big distinction between like, hey, like I'm going to invest in a fine artist, which is maybe going to take me 6 months or a year to like get an ROI. Who knows what it's going to be? compared to like maybe a PFP profile thing where, you know, maybe you'll get 10 times in like 3 weeks. And so the expectations, I think, aren't always the same as well. And like, I think the one thing with whitelisting, which is really great, is like at least you know there's a team that is going to continue to work on the project once they get funding. And you know, the biggest fear I always kind of come into projects is like, hey, if I put some of my ETH into it, are they all going to fuck off like after a week because they made some mechs and some money, you know?
100%. You know, something as you were saying that, it kind of reminded me that, yeah, it is a big fear that before you invest into a project, you want to make sure that, you know, the team is going to continue to deliver. Something that I've realized is that what it takes to actually, you know, build, like stand up a project, launch it, sell it out, the skill sets that takes and the commitment that takes and the, you know, everything that goes into it, it's completely different than what it takes to run an organization and build a business and activate a community. And so you go from like all hands on deck, stand up your project, almost like, you know, you're building a restaurant from scratch, like you're actually building the building and decorating it and designing it. And then it's like, okay, you built it, the restaurant's there, you got the permits, you got your liquor license, and now it's opening day, and then you're a waiter now, or you're a host, or you're you know, you're a caterer, you're throwing events, you're the front of house manager, and you just are going to do that indefinitely. You know, it's I think I don't think people really think through what this is because things are moving so quickly. I think a lot of decisions are made because people are like, oh, I have this an idea, I got to move quick, like I'll figure out the details later, let me get in. And I think what will happen is there will always be a place for collectibles and art, PFPs. There's always going to be a place for all of these things because they existed before Web3. But I think more and more you're going to see individuals and artists and businesses that are just going to continue to do what they do and evolve their approach, with Web3 in mind, versus NFT project being the, you know, the one of the pillars of the value, or kind of the main piece of value here. You know, I'm sure there are artists that have sold art because it was an NFT first and foremost, rather than, you know, the art moved that person, or, you know, someone met the artist. And I think
I'm
that's going to
sure
switch
I'm
back
that
around.
person now. I'm sure I am.
Well,
Like
I think you
as a
have, you
digital
know,
art as a digital artist, I mean the space has been phenomenal for me, and like I'm not saying that in a weird way. It's just it gave me a market to actually like go to, if that makes sense.
totally. And I think that it was, you know, kind of a new, a new current in the ocean, right? It's like all, you know, you're in this sea, this ocean of a million, like a huge marketplace, and it's just finding like a jet stream, for lack of a better term. But now that you're in, you have leveraged this wind at your back. You've networked with a ton of people. You've built relationships with communities all over the world, and people are getting to know you and your artwork. And now people are buying from you and your artwork because of that. So again, it's just another platform. It's just another space. And for those of us who are fortunate enough to get in here early, we're going to benefit from being early. And I think the people that are going to stay and thrive and do well are, you know, being early is no longer going to be part of your value proposition. It's going to be who you are, your relationships. Relationships are currency, energy is currency, you know, and it's, you know, it's about doing what you do. And I think the model of Web3, and Andy, who's one of the co-founders of Nomad Boulevard, he speaks to this a lot better than I do. But it really is, it is easier for you to win as an individual with a community approach. You know, it's what we're trying to build Nomad around, and I think it's what successful individual artists have done. I mean, look, Sabit, for example, one of the most successful NFT artists, he just is constantly lifting up other artists, constantly helping promote other projects, constantly doing collaborations. You know, there's no I'm at the top of the hill and I'm going to try to, you know, keep a scarcity mindset about me and keep people down. It's quite the opposite, and he continues to thrive like wild.
I love that. And I'll touch on that, Danny. Like, you know, building these things, it's like you're building a business. It really is like you're building a business. And then the mint day is really just the start. It's like, there was the warm up, which is kind of like this stuff, telling everyone about it and getting really excited and the possibilities. And then when the mint happens, it's like, okay, now it's time. The lights are on. Let's make sure that the menu's right? There's so many restaurant analogies here, but it is like, it really is like building a business, and it's a lot of work, and it's super rewarding though when it goes well.
And also, you don't go to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. And then, like, Friday, you're driving home from work and you're like, I'm so relaxed now because I've got the weekend. It's 24/7, 7 days a week. If you look at our Discord for the last several months, it is one long global conversation that has never stopped. I mean, look, same thing like a lot of projects, right? But it's always alive. So it requires a lot. Brian, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, just two quick things, 'cause I don't want to take up the airspace. But number one, it's definitely encouraging just the way you speak about your project, and the level of delicacy that it sounds like you have behind the scenes. And me revisiting all the announcements that y'all have posted, it's almost very similar, Aaron, just to go back to your question. It's almost very similar to having a white paper, so your announcements almost fill in those gaps. One of the things that I did think of from a technological standpoint, there have been a lot of projects that haven't necessarily tested their smart contracts before Mint. And so what'll happen is you'll have this incredible project that's ready to launch, and then there'll be these incredible glitches. I'll give you an example of one that happened this last week with a project I've been following closely and still doing pretty well, is Kami Tribe. They were minting a max of 1, 2, or 3 per wallet, but those that minted a 3 NFT option were paying the 1 NFT price. So they were paying a third of the price for 3 NFTs. So my question is, have you guys? Yeah, it was not too good.
Wow.
For them. But have you guys been able to have a sort of team test out your smart contracts before Mint, just to give us sort of, or you all really that absolute confidence, or not absolute, but as much of it going in?
Man, you're making me want to. Yes is the answer, but you're making me want to test it again. No, we're also, like, I guess on the other side of that, yes, we got to test it. We should test it again, make sure it's solid. But we're also, like we did with Gemma, making sure that it's gas optimized, because there's just, the technology is changing all the time. I'm not a tech guy, so I'm probably, like, at this moment in over my head on the tech conversation. But it's a good point, man. You gotta be super. That the tech has to be super buttoned up and tested over and over, because on Mint Day, it happens really fast and there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's tough to fix it on the fly, right?
Yeah, and what else? And it's also tough to pretend like nothing wrong is happening when something wrong is happening, so that you keep the calm. Not to say that ever happened with Nomad, but you know what I mean. We definitely had outside consultants for Nomad review the contract, give notes. We had a couple of Discord channels with different devs from different projects weighing in. Huge mistake that projects make by thinking that they've got it all sorted out. I think a lot of these things are going to be commoditized, later this year. I think it's going to be, plug and play for projects, once software applications are built. But for now, super important. I think that's a great point, Brian. Real quick, I know someone had their hand up, and whoever it was, I want you to say hello. But first, I just want to welcome Real Nice Guy to the space. Real Nice Guy has been a huge influence in the Nomad community across a ton of different projects. Was leading some real nice spaces, and just want to say a quick hello, Spence. Good to see you.
Hey Danny, hey everyone. Nice to nice to be here tonight and hearing about new projects, and kind of full disclosure, took some time off just away from the space to focus on myself and kind of take a mental break just from all of it. And, as I come back, it is exciting to see that there's still so many people that are doubling down and, believing in so many projects and new individuals and artists. So again, I can't wait to see what we have in store. I guess I did see your text today, Danny, about March 10th, and I plan on being there. So
Hell,
I don't go to a lot of in real life events. So for anybody that knows me, but I am excited to show my face and network and meet some really like-minded individuals in the space. So yeah, March 10th, looking forward to it.
I'm so glad you're going to be there, and I wasn't going to put you on the spot on Spaces and ask if you were coming. I was just going to keep it to text. Really glad that you took some time off. I think even people that are, happy and full of energy and loving life don't realize sometimes that they also need a break too. I'm glad that you did that for yourself, and looking forward to catching up with you really soon. I do want to let you in the room know about this Nomad Boulevard launch party. We are doing it at a space that there's going to be a DJ, there's going to be a bar, there's going to be a bunch of room, but they're also like maybe 10 leather couches that we're going to put like right up where the DJ booth is, and you're going to be able to like sit and relax and have conversations, but also kind of be immersed in the event a little bit. So we're kind of doing this because we want people to feel at home and comfortable. It's not going to be like a packed, like standing room only party. It's going to be comfortable. There's going to be a lot of room and space. There's an outdoor area. What's up, Arton?
Where's the location?
The location is in Venice, California, and we're not giving the exact location yet. You have to RSVP, and then after you RSVP, we're going to make sure that your wallet is linked to a Nomad, and then once we confirm that, we're going to send you the location. So we just want to make sure that we don't have any any crashers, and yeah, that's it. And Arton, you're requesting to come back up on stage, but for some reason I can't get you back up here. So I will do my best. All right. So who has not had a chance to? We miss anyone? Did anyone have their hand raised from earlier?
I
think
didn't,
so.
but I'm going to say good night because it's past midnight here in New York and I need to get some rest because it was a busy day today for me. But lovely chatting with you, and hope to see you in LA and maybe some of you in New York. Great conversations as usual and great artists. Thank you.
Amazing, Misha. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you can make it out here. We have a list of hotels if you need a place to stay. So just get in touch if you need more info.
Will do. Thank you. Good night, guys.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, we've got about 10 minutes left before we close the space. Want to remind everyone to go to Cool Kids Arcade up at top, follow them, check out their Discord, and also we're going to be, we'll let you know how to get pre-sale spots for Cool Kids through Nomad Boulevard. I think we just posted the announcement, but we don't have the details of how to get that yet, so we'll get on that. The mint is in 6 days, so very excited. Aaron, anything else for people who recently joined the room that they should know about Cool Kids?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you recently joined the room, welcome. Thanks so much for being here. Come to the Discord, say hi. We want to build this long term. We want to get your input.
Yo, Misha, you tell us in New York. It's
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Oh, yeah. So like, pop in the Discord, have, say hello. Like, we want to build it with you, and let's do this. And that's what also I want to say, Danny, Nomad Boulevard guys, thanks for having us. I mean, this is super fun to chat this stuff out. You guys have a really strong community, and I'm happy to be a Nomad Blvd holder.
Hell yeah. Happy to have you in the mix. If speaking of Nomad Blvd, if you go up to the pin tweet, retweet it, tag some people, we're going to be doing a giveaway in a few days. We're going to give away a Nomad. And just want to promote the launch party just to make sure that if you're a Nomad holder, you hear about this and have a chance to make travel arrangements or add it to the calendar. And Gabe Leonard, I see you down there. James, I mean, so many people I've just been meaning to reach out to and get in touch. So hope you can make it to the event. Marav, Javi, 3min X. I mean, I could just say everyone's name in the room. Thanks for being here tonight. And we'll do another one really soon. Before we go, Kiriaki, anything that you want to say? Anything kind of bubble up to the top of your head?
Yeah, you're so sweet. Yeah, actually, it's kind of pivoting because you mentioned, and I'm following, but you mentioned the Gemma. Is there any way you could brief us on that a bit? Because I love the colors and the vibes, but I don't know anything about it. So could you share a bit?
Of course,
Okay,
of course.
cool.
The Gemma project is by an artist. His name's Tristan Eaton. Tristan was the creator of the Dunny and the Money for Kid Robot. So he has this kind of beginning of toy culture creator history. Then pivoted to a design studio in New York City, doing commercial projects for brands, all the while working on the street. And he shut that studio down about 10 years ago and started focusing on his murals. Now he's probably behind Shepard Fairey. He's probably one of the most known mural artists. I mean, aside from Banksy, I guess, Banksy and Shepard. He's one of the most known public artists out there, I would say. And Gemma is his his kind of generative PFP project. It's the third or fourth thing we did in the space. It started off small, toe in the water, and Gemma is a 5,000 piece project that started as you'll see his style. It starts as a figurative portrait, and then these layers kind of build on top. And so whenever he would do a painting, he would start with that bottom layer and then kind of layer over the top, layer, and end up with one painting, right? But Gemma allowed Tristan to make 5,000 paintings, right? Like you would never be able to do that by feeding the generator, 200-ish layers. We're able to make this suite of imagery that he would have never been able to make in any other way, right? And so that collection went out. It's a really strong community. There's a burn mechanic with it. We're doing quarterly burns. Every quarter you can decide to keep your Gemma NFT or burn it, and you get a physical one-of-one print that we're getting printed from Static Medium in LA, super high quality Giclée prints. And so you would get a one-of-one signed Tristan Eaton print, but you're going to lose your NFT. So any utility that comes with the NFT you're going to lose, but you get this super valuable one-of-one print from Tristan. So
and Tristan's gonna sign it, and is he also gonna number it?
Well, it'll be one-of-one. They'll all be one-of-ones because they're all unique. I know they'll all be related to the project. It's kind of a weird thing that's never done before. It's not one of a 5,000 because they're all different, right? So they're all one-of-one. Will he number it with the actual Gemma number? Maybe. I think that'd be nice on the back. But we haven't decided that yet. But yeah, and the other thing is now there's 3,000 people that hold these things, and we have a community, right? Whereas he's also, we've been taking care of collectors for ages, pre-sales and private invites, and as a working artist, you take care of your collectors. I mean, Punk Actual, you're right into this, right? This, but PFP project's very similar. You take care of your collectors, you take care of your holders, you show them value, and I think that's kind of how you build as an artist in the space. That's how you build as a business in the space. So that's what we intend to do there. Yeah.
Cool. So that means there's 2,000 left.
Well, they're all sold out. They sold out really quick. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
but you can get them on OpenSea right now. Make sure not to click on the fake account. We're trying to get taken down. Follow Gemma.art to get to the right collection, and grab one because the burn's coming up pretty soon.
So basically, another way to think about it is, so right now the floor for Gemma is 0.119. So that's 312. So if you don't have one or you have one and you want to burn this, for $312, you're going to get a Tristan Eaton 1 of 1 print signed by Tristan.
Yeah, and if you go to Artsy and look up Tristan, you'll see the prints there, and those prints are editions of 250 or 350. Those are over. They're selling for over $1,000 in the secondary market. So you're gonna get a 1 of 1 print, kind of uncharted territories. No one knows what that's worth, but I would definitely argue that it's, as being his first PFP project, it's historical. So if you're thinking value, I think it's a pretty safe bet.
Love that. I have one quick question, just because I'm wondering. So let's say I did the burn and then I got the physical and it's a 101, and then I own the physical. How is it in the space in the community? Let's say I did that, and then let's say someone then took a photo of that and then sold it as an NFT. Like they have the physical, but then they sell the physical. Are they able to do that by like? How are the copyright laws with those kind of things? Like if you were to own a physical and then decide to sell it as an NFT, how is that?
No, it's this one. There's no CCO, so since it's an art project, Tristan retains the copyright for everything. So he gets bootlegged all the time. I'm telling you, if you're in New York and you go outside, if you're outside, you said Italy. There's a guy out in front of Italy that's selling his shit like all day long, selling his archery piece. And he
wow.
Yeah, so like he gets bootlegged so much, and it's like whack-a-mole trying to get him. So like someone can bootleg it, but it wouldn't be official, it wouldn't be sanctioned, and it wouldn't be technically legal, I guess. But it's the weird, wild.
And if you
world.
made an NFT out of that art piece, then it wouldn't be from the verified Tristan Eaton account, right?
Right. Yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, obviously wouldn't come with utility. I mean, you can maybe trick someone into buying it, but
yeah, it's important just to ask these silly questions. You know what I mean? Just
No
pave the way.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? These are not silly questions at all. I mean, we've had people in the room that are like, asking like the 101 stuff. And what happens is like half the people in the room are like, glad someone asked that. I've always, not wanted to ask what that question is. So no, it's all that stuff always adds up. There's never too simple of a question.
No,
all right, we're
that's
coming
the real
up.
question, actually. That's the real shit. The stuff where like all the NFT stuff going now, like Bored Apes or CCO, you own the copyright. World of Women, you own the copyright. Some you don't own the copyright. What does it mean? What does it mean? Like it's a whole new world of licensing. I come from the world of whenever I quote a project out for an artist, I ask them what their usage is. Like, what usage do you want with this art? Because the artist will retain that copyright. So like my second question, like my first question is what's your budget and what's your deadline, and then what's the usage, So the fact that usage is getting turned up on its head with NFTs is super interesting. I think it was a great question.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I know we're closing out here, but like not even long ago, like I was so confused about derivatives. Like, how did that happen? How did someone take this and combine them? And yeah, because the licensing, and I was like, okay. So it was kind of one of not as big as that, but I guess it's important just like that. But yeah, and I'm happy to know. Thank you for explaining and sharing.
Of course. And let me know if you see that guy at Italy. I'll have to give him a call.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm gonna do a boomerang or something and like send it to you, and I'll be like, "Yo, you want the real G on the line? Here you go."
That's right.
His eyes will probably get all big. But that place is addictive, so guarantee I will be going there again soon.
It is. Agreed.
Well, I would like to thank everyone for joining us. Big thank you to Aaron for representing Cool Kids tonight. Thanks to everyone for being a part of this. I want to just say one kind of just general statement. If you're someone that wants to speak about the art community in the NFT space or outside of the NFT space, if you are comfortable on the mic, if you would be energized by, trying out to lead a Twitter space and maybe, have a certain format or talk about something specific in the art community, and you're part of the Nomad Boulevard community, please get in touch with me. The more that I think about it, the more it makes sense. I get up here a lot. Joso and Punk are up here a lot, and we all have something to say sometimes, or sometimes we find people that have something to say. But if you're someone who has something to say and you don't have the platform, we'd love to share our platform with you. So hit me up. Think about that, and just much love to everyone in the room. Please, if you're Nomad, come to our event. It's going to be really great. We're putting a lot of time and thought and energy into it. This one's going to be a special one. We're going to be featuring a lot of the artwork from our community of artists. It's going to be good. And Marav and Javi, I really hope you're there. And Punk, I hope you make it out, man. NFT Cheers, I know you can't make it. It's all good. You come to the next one. Aaron, I know you're going to South by Southwest, but I hope you take the red eye. And
I'll try. South by's calling though, Danny. South by's calling. Sorry.
And when you say South by's calling, like, call your cell, do they text you and say call me, or do they call you?
It's DMs. They slide up in those DMs.
Right. And they're like, Aaron, you got to be here a day before it starts, even though it doesn't even start on the 10th. And you're like, okay, cool, I'll do that, even though I'm going to miss the 10th, which is like the craziest event ever at Nomad Boulevard that I really want to go to. And then they're like, you should go. And you're like, oh, okay. And then we'll see you.
I love it. Guys, thanks, Nomad, all you guys for having us and letting us talk about the project. And, if I can be there on the 10th, I 100% will.
Amazing. All right, everyone. Have a great night.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Sweet sorrow.
Thanks, guys. Peace.
Thank you. Great connection.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.